Okay, so welcome to Blue Girls Video Podcast. I have dreams for you for April 2022 and May of 2022. So April, at a shelter. I recently took a vacation and was staying possibly at this one shelter there. A woman was working who worked there and myself were lying or sitting down on a table having a conversation. She was telling me that other people would have higher priority for receiving meals at the shelter. In my real life, well, whatever, I'm not going to say I do. I also recall the shelter having a white van that could transport people to apartments of whatnot. I did not bring my checkbook with me in order to mail my rent check to current manager. Then I was in a room with a little boy with dark hair and dark eyes. Forgotten dream. As I was lying down, I remembered a forgotten dream. I went to a small property located near a woodsy area. I used to live here in my dream, but not in real life. I then walked in woodsy area by myself. A couple of other women were in my dream as well. Then I was living in this one room in a house. The inside of the house had dark cherry colored wood throughout the interior. My room had a glass door with a cherry colored wood trimming surrounding the exterior, as well as two wooden bars diagonally across the door. The house had old carpeted floors. Fargo. This dream was a little odd. All I remember is looking at movies through a website and saw Fargo. Standing in line. Fell back asleep. In this next dream, it was very funny. It was a very sunny day, and I was standing in a long line for most of the day. I was near a couple of white women. Then I took a bus to downtown and stopped a couple stops prior to my stop. Most of the time in these dreams, can sense location of the dream. In this dream, I cannot. Okay, so the next part of this, it's supposed to start with luggage. There it is. I got a headache, so I'm going to have to take some aspirin for that. Okay, luggage. There was an area where people were picking up their luggage. I do not see a carousel like at an airport. A woman is picking up her 3 suitcases of all different colors. Then one of my cousins is sleeping on a top bunk of a bunk bed. The bunk bed looks like it was handmade because it has cubicles. Also, a strange guy was standing in front of me. He said, either you are suicidal or he was suicidal. Now, this is a dream. It's almost didn't seem like a real person. Swimmer. There was a strange dream. A swimmer wearing a yellow swimming cap is slowly swimming in a large body of water. I'm thinking of SF. Hospital. Last night, I dreamt about being at a possibly hospital. The doctors working there were predominantly white. I don't remember much else about the dream or why I was at hospital. Museum. The area in this dream is unfamiliar. I was with a group of friends, one being S, and we were hanging out somewhere. Then for whatever reason, I left them. I was supposed to take a bus and routes were foggy and dream. I ended up walking uphill at this amusement park or museum. A guy with dark hair was in front of me. Part of the museum had items inside with old prices inside, pop machines, cigarette machines. Pacific Northwest City. Okay, so this is the last dream for April 2022. A woman is walking in a Pacific Northwest city. Although the city does not look familiar in dream, she is walking around taking pictures and is having some difficulty with her camera. I see her take a picture of outside of a pub that is closed at the time. I then see a bridge that reminds me of the Irene Hickson Whitney Bridge in the Midwest. It seems to be an area with college kids. See mainly guys in dream. Okay, so the first dream of May 2022 is laundromat. A young woman is staying at another woman's place. She invites her to take as many clothes as she needs, so the woman takes a handful of clothes. Then she needs to go to the laundromat, but since it's about 10:30 at night, she will do washing in the morning. Also, her boyfriend is with her, but he has to stay at a hotel. Collapsing. In real life, I watched a documentary of the San Francisco earthquake of 1906. Last night in my dream, the same buildings from San Francisco were collapsing in the modern day. There were predominantly young white students surrounding these old buildings and could actually see buildings collapsing in my dream. Oh, then I saw a dream of the ocean with rocks. Puddle is the next dream. Last night, dream, my bathroom had an old-fashioned bathtub, and on the floor was a puddle of water. There was a young neighbor who came over them for emotional support. The neighbor looks like a YouTuber that I subscribed to. I'm not for sure if this is me or not in this dream. I'm thinking of whether or not to go to Reno or Las Vegas. Stay a night or two. I'm not for sure why this is coming up in dreams. I am wondering if Reno or Las Vegas is one of two things. One, being to choose another medical doctor in Reno or Las Vegas, or second, I might be taking a trip of some kind. Different locations. I had several dreams last night. Different locations than recent dreams. So the first dream, I was at a downtown area shaped like a square. I may have had a dream about this area years ago. It is a southern part of the United States, possibly North Carolina. So June 16th, so I did hear about an apartment offer with square in the name of it. May 13th, Friday the 13th, weird vibes today. So I did receive an email, I think it was a phishing scam or whatever. Second dream, 3 concrete blocks that were thrown at a window which shattered it. Later saw these same bricks as a part of a new wall. A young couple is living in a room. However, the woman is only on the lease. Their dream is of a city at nighttime. Several women are enjoying a night on the town. I can only see the women from the stomach on down, not their faces at all. Someone was trying to get in my apartment and was turning the front door knob. The history from a previous residence. Okay. So the next dream is going to be long bus trip. Me or someone else took a long bus trip. I thought was supposed to transfer in Denver, Colorado Springs. I'm not for sure which bus to get on out of the lined up buses. Later, I was near a round piece of land near a body of water. A building was writing on it. Tried to read it, but cannot in dream. I hear the words Ohio, but also thought of Rhode Island too. I've never been to Ohio or Rhode Island. Most of the scenery is unfamiliar to me. A guy was with me towards the end of the dream. Trash's place. This dream is about a boy who is at his family's house. He's trying to cancel an afternoon flight reservation. He doesn't even know the exact time, but he has an hour to cancel. Then he is having difficulty accessing the website and asks assistance from his mom. She doesn't seem to care, nor does other family members. Then, when no one is around in the house, he becomes violent for some reason and starts breaking things and trashing items in the house. Some of this dream has little snippets of my life as well, although not the violence part. Hair color. I had a dream that walked into a hair salon place and my hair was one color, then another. I wanted to go to natural hair color. Okay, house of women. A small house with several 20-something were staying or hanging out. Oh, also, one of the women was on the phone with possibly a police officer. He was nice to her, $650. So the next dream is going to be Reno. I had a dream of a woman who physically resembled the famous singer. She had 2 children, a boy and a girl, and I wanted to go with them on an outing, but the mom said no. She was standing right in front of me and talking in a low voice. I do not remember what she said in dream. She had a pillow of the famous singer. Fell back asleep. A young woman is at a small bus station, was going to Missouri. A bus pulled up and was packed full of people. I asked the African-American bus driver if the bus was going to Reno. He said there was 5 to 10 minute layover, so needed to hurry. I recall tossing my backpack on the bus, but not getting on the bus itself. It looked like a guy's backpack. I was walking a long ways and was getting tired. The location does not feel like Reno or Nevada. Bags of dog food. All I remember in this dream was a dark-haired woman in her kitchen. She threw 2 bags of dog food onto the floor. However, I do not see dog in this dream at all. I'm not for sure if this is me in the dream or not. I am standing up in the kitchen, plenty of food, while some guys' friends were eating food in the living room. There was plenty of food. I was concerned because don't recall signing a lease mid-month and had some temporary checks on the floor. Then God told me in the dream I won't be there that long. An African-American guy passed in the hall. I paid a little over $200 in rent, like $223, something like that. Loose tooth. I went to a dentist appointment and then was walking down a street in a small town. I pulled out a tooth from my upper left hand side of my mouth. I had throw up on my shirt as well. Then I was on a small bus with hardly any people on it. A former friend didn't acknowledge me when he got on my bus. Plus, he didn't have his dog. Later, a woman is sitting on a carpeted room as she stores her black gun in a small safe. In real life, I had several benign polyps removed from my body, so it probably was actually a polyp in real life, not a tooth. But plus, if I do have a tendency to have physical issues on the left side of my body, shortly after the stream, I got food poisoning. Okay, so I'm going to do June 2022 dreams. I don't think I'm going to be able to get them all done, but I'm going to do as many as I can. I was taking yet another bus trip. I woke to no one on the bus but me, so got off. I approached the counter of the busy bus station, and an older blonde-haired woman assisted me. I mentioned that the bus driver didn't mention any stops, not that it was his fault. I possibly missed my transfer destination. The woman at the counter wanted me to pay the difference for the ticket. I mentioned all these expenses I had to pay. In real life, one just exchanges a ticket without paying the difference when not at fault. I told her that was on my way to Portland and one of my suitcases was under the bus. I'm not for sure what happened, and then was walking around bus station and recall seeing Nutcracker soldiers down the stairs. A couple of days ago in real life, I saw Nutcracker soldiers in this dream. Despite saying that I'm going to Portland, the area seems unfamiliar to me. I don't recognize the cities and bus ticket either. In retrospect, the station might have been a train station. I guess the Portland bus station is closed. I also see Manhattan, possibly Times Square. Yeah, so these Nutcracker soldiers, I think that like in real life, there's a place, a gas station in the Southwest that has those Nutcracker soldiers. Like when you go there, it's part of a chocolate store or a candy store. So, and then in the dream, I saw them in the dream. Okay, so a couple of young women received some packages. That's it. Luxury apartment. Several Caucasian students were offering the woman another luxury apartment. She was thinking about just staying at her current location, but will check out place 98. May 24, 2022. In real life, I was contacted regarding an apartment, but it would be late to take apartment. Okay, so $50 or 50%. I was dreaming that fell back asleep. My oldest cousin gave me $50 for some reason. It could have also mean 50%. I'm not for sure if this is me or not. I am at a bus shelter and looking at the bus routes on the wall. I want to take either Route 1 or 4. I'm preferring Route 4. The bus goes in a straight direction. I recall a young woman being around and excited at the prospect of returning to her work field. She has long, dark brown hair with brown eyes. Then I say most of these dreams take place in the Pacific Northwest, except for luxury apartments. Immature and mocking is the next dream. I woke thinking in the words immature and mocking. I don't know if this is me or not in the dream. I was at some place where there were mainly young Caucasian people. My friend from the Midwest is in a dream. I think he came to visit me there. I also recall going to some storage place. A Mexican-American woman worked the front desk and greeted people when arrived. I remember not having a good feeling about her. Towards the end, I saw a dark forest, and the character Slender Man was lurking in there. I also remember walking into a convenience store and mentioning Mountain Dew and Coke. Then I looked up straight to the wooden ceiling. Shortly after the stream, saw a wooden high ceiling on a YouTube video. Okay, so the next dream is going to be low voice. I was standing up in an RV, or someone was drinking, and down the road, it was surprisingly talking to my cousin or some other woman in a low voice. This is the second time in the last week that someone was talking in a low voice. This time I think it's me. Same ethnicity. I went on to buy my oldest brother some items and to later find out he had his own money. A group of dark-skinned toned women with dark hair were standing in a kitchen. They could have been Italian or Jewish, not African American. I woke up feeling storage. I woke up feeling anxious and thought about putting items into storage. Beer belly is the next one. A woman is sitting at a bar table when an overweight man with a beer belly approaches her. He may have been a former lover or an acquaintance, not sure. Either way, he is just standing there and she doesn't acknowledge his presence. Jeremy also patches of internal bleeding. Needing money. An old friend and I were driving around at nighttime. We didn't talk much. Again at nighttime, a woman is in her house and her door is unlocked, where a former friend shows up unannounced. She needs $300, so the woman in the house agrees to help and will leave an envelope by the door. Okay, so out east. I was somewhere out east. I was leaning more so towards Philly than New York. I have never been to Philly, and the area looks unfamiliar to me. There might be an above-ground train system. My friend and his girlfriend moved to a luxurious high-rise, and his girlfriend was pregnant. In real life, they both live in the Midwest, and his girlfriend is beyond childbearing years. Despite this, 2 different women predicted the sex of the child. I then was walking through skyways and see directions of getting to an airport. I approached a cookie stand because the cookies looked scrumptious. In my dream, a guy was working at the counter and he wanted $10 for one cookie, so didn't get one. The people in this dream seem well off financially. 8 siblings. Yeah. I was at this woman's house, and for whatever reason, she didn't want to talk about her 8 siblings. Escape game is... Okay. I just awoke from a very bizarre and frightening dream. Everyone was sitting in a large round auditorium. One could see people across from themselves and vice versa. People had to show up every day, almost like going to detention for school, but these were adults. Only by one by one, people didn't want to continue being there, so they sought ways to get out of it. A couple of guards working there showed this one guy how to escape possibly a jail building situation. This other older women escaped by going to the Midwest. I had to go every day for a couple of days for some reason. It seemed people basically sat in their chairs most of the day. They exchanged elaborate cards. got books and gossiped. The more I think about it, it could have been a bus terminal, but I didn't see people with luggage. An old friend of mine, S, was in the dream. So something occurred yesterday that was documented under paranormal experiences. I was walking downtown and thought of the word luck. Oh yeah, I remember this. And then saw a heads up penny, so picked it up. Then I saw a heads down penny and did not pick it up. So then went to a place, and this older woman used a rotary to find my name. She opened right to my name and mentioned the same word that I heard, luck. Now that is interesting. The South, okay, the South. So this is the last dream of June 2022. A woman was turning to her old job and would be working on the weekends. She was concerned that same issues from working would arise again. A former therapist, Kay, was there. This dream took place in the north or the south, and people were displaying southern hospitality, and the majority of the people were African American. Okay, so that's it. Like I said, for June 2022. Oh, look at that. I just have a page and a half left. Amen. Okay, so thank you for watching.